We're going to begin our review with numbers and the pluralization of nouns and articles. So starting with 0 through 10. It just has to be memorized. There's no pattern to it whatsoever. Just like in English, 1, 2, 3, 4 doesn't follow any pattern. Same in French. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11 through 20, we have a little bit of a pattern starting to appear. 11 through 16 are vaguely based on 1 through 6. 17, 18, and 19 are all compounds with 10, so literally 10, 7 makes 17. And then 20 begins our new tens digit. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 21 through 30 begins to follow this same pattern we do in English, with the exception of 21. Okay, we can't just say 21. In French, we have to say 20 and 1. 21. From that point, though, we just say 22, 23, and combine the two words with a hyphen. 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 31 through 60 will then follow that exact same pattern. 30 and 1, 32, 33, 34, 40, 40 and 1, 42, 43, so on and so forth. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. 40 is 40. 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 46, 47, 48, 49. 50, 50, 50. 51, 52, 53, etc., etc. Up to 60 is 60. Using this pattern, we can only count to 69. 69. 70, 80, and 90 have an entirely different pattern in French. So, questions 1 and 2. On your Les Devoirs paper, okay, underneath questions 1 and 2 for mardi, we're going to write out the French, using our words, of course, not our numbers. Okay, write out, how would you say 56 in French? And then how would you say 41 in French? Alright, so now we're going to start looking at our plurals. We're going to begin with our nouns. Super easy. To pluralize 95% of the nouns, we're just going to add an S to the end of it. So if we have un cahier, one notebook. If we have two notebooks, deux cahiers. We don't pronounce the S, it's un cahier, deux cahiers. We just write an S on the end of the deux in order to show that it's a pluralized word. Remember, if the noun ends in the letter U, then we're going to use an X instead of an S. So, un bureau, one desk. Deux bureaux, two desks with an X. However, if the word already ends in an S or an X, even when there's only one, then we leave it alone. There's no need to double up on our pluralizing letters. So, un prix is one prize. Deux prix, we don't have to change any of the spelling because it already ended in an X. An X is one of our pluralizing letters. If you don't want to use a number and you want to use an article, we also have to pluralize those. The indefinite articles to say, in this case, a notebook or a chair, un and une, they both will pluralize to des. So un cahier, a notebook, becomes des cahiers, some notebooks. Same thing with the feminine version, une chaise, a chair, des chaises, some chairs. If we're using definite articles, though, we want to say the. Le or la will become les. Le livre, the book. Les livres, the books. La classe, the class. Les classes, the classes. Remember that you are only going to use your articles if you are not using a number. Just like in English, there's no need to double up on it. You wouldn't say, I have some 3 chairs. It doesn't make any sense. You're going to use either a number, I have 3 chairs, or you'll use the general article, I have some chairs. So for questions 3 and 4 on your devoir, you're going to change each one of the singular phrases below into a plural phrase. It's up to you if you want to write the singular and the plural, as long as you also have the plural written down. So, par exemple, if the word given to you was une porte, a door, you would change it into a plural phrase by changing the une into des, because that was how we changed our indefinite articles to plural. And we would put an S on the end of porte, because that was how we said we pluralized the noun porte. So une porte becomes des portes. So try it yourself with un prof and la voix. All right, and then finally for question 5, write a sentence describing how many of something you have. You can either use a number or you can just say some. It's up to you, though I would prefer a number personally. Pick whatever school item or random everyday item you feel like talking about and tell me how many of it you have. For example, if I had 5 pencils, like in my picture, I could say j'ai 5 crayons.